Tonight, paying the price for prescription drugs, and Blockbuster bows to pressure. Good evening, I'm Linda Jardin. Seniors and people on welfare started paying more for their prescription drugs today. Some pay as much as a quarter of the cost of the drugs. The higher fees are part of Quebec's new drug plan. Many seniors say the price is too high and they won't be able to buy their medication anymore. Heather Hiscox reports.
This is what pharmacist Nick Caprio was afraid of. An AIDS patient on welfare stops to fill a prescription and gets a nasty shock. The drugs he used to get nearly free are now going to cost more than $80 a year. The prices are ridiculous, he says. I take about 7 different drugs to prolong my life. He doesn't have the money to pay and leaves without his medication. Caprio fears this patient won't be the only one.
Some of them, they've gone to the extreme of saying they'll stop taking their medication if they have to pay, and they'll end up in the hospitals, and then it's the government that's going to have to take care of them. I certainly hope that that's not where we're going to end up, because it will definitely end up costing us a lot more than what the government is trying to save.
Monsieur Rochon, you've done us wrong.
Seniors and welfare recipients have called the drug plan discriminatory, staged protests and sit-ins. Nothing persuaded the health minister to change his mind. But today, Jean Rochon did change one thing. He will now allow seniors and welfare recipients to pay their drug bills in installments rather than in one lump sum.
That still is going to be extremely difficult for some people who can't make ends meet by the 3rd week of the month now without having this additional cost to incur.
Sun Youth estimates nearly half of all seniors on fixed incomes won't be able to pay their drug bills. It set up a $100,000 fund to help.
I'm almost certain that if we don't react quickly, we're going to have a very serious medical crisis on our hand, and they're going to have to start opening hospital wards rather than closing.
It was unusually quiet in pharmacies today. Many seniors and welfare recipients renewed their prescriptions early to save money. So the full impact of today's change may not be seen until those prescriptions run out, when people have to decide whether to cut down on medication or perhaps cut it out altogether. Heather Hiscox, CBC News, Montreal.
An earlier version of that story ran on CBC's midday at noon. It touched one Montrealer who called in and offered to pay for medication for that AIDS patient for the next year. The MUC police made a big drug bust in a motel in St. Leonard late this afternoon. A worker at the Lido found the drugs and called police. When they arrived, they found more than 80 kilograms of cocaine in one of the rooms. 2 people are under arrest. If you've got a burglar alarm in your home or business, you may soon have to pay for false alarms. At a meeting tonight, the MUC Public Security Committee recommended a new bylaw. It would impose a service fee on false calls. The Commission says the false alarms cost taxpayers more than $8 million a year. With this new bylaw, homeowners would pay $55 for a second false alarm. And if it happens again, they'll have to pay even more. Businesses would pay a higher fine.
The pocketbook is a very quick way for people to come to their senses.
But alarm companies and some users say the Commission hasn't listened to their proposals. They say fees could backfire. People may try to respond to the alarms themselves instead of calling police.
I think one of the bigger fears that we have is that there are going to be poorly trained people going around responding to alarms. There are going to be less people who are going to be encouraged to install security alarm systems. Security alarm systems are a deterrent to crime.
The MUC Council will look at this proposal later this month. Then it will decide whether to go ahead with the bylaw. All kinds of people have been helping the victims of the flooding in the Saguenay. Now Quebec's entertainers are going to help out with a big show. Sports, entertainment and media personalities are coming together to put on a benefit concert on Sunday the 25th of August. It will be on stage at the Molson Centre at 7 p.m. Tickets are $19.50 and go on sale tomorrow. You can see it all on CBC TV.
Pleased to announce that we have concluded, or in the process of concluding arrangements with Mr. Perrin Beatty, President of the CBC, and George Anthony, who's the creative head of CBC TV Arts, for them to repackage highlights of the program and present them nationally, coast to coast, across Canada, to invite all Canadians to participate in this very, very important and beneficial project.
You can call in donations during the broadcast. All money raised will be turned over to the Red Cross to help flood victims. When we return, we'll tell you about the threat of a boycott and how it makes a video store chain think twice about its signs. And later, the story of a man and a mountain. He is going to give it away. Blockbuster Video says it will start posting some English signs in its stores. Blockbuster was facing a possible boycott by a coalition of English rights groups. Ray Fichot has more.
Blockbuster had not responded to pressure to put up English signs, so this coalition threatened to launch a boycott today. But at the last minute, Blockbuster gave in.
I've just been informed that Blockbuster Video has agreed that they're going to start putting up English signs as well, effective immediately in the West Island and through all the other stores where numbers weren't.
Zellers agreed to do the same yesterday, so have Radio Shack and Bureau en Gros. The coalition says the campaign for English signs has been a stunning success. But Quebec's minister responsible for language says Howard Galganoff will not get what he wants.
Well, what I read publicly is that what he wants is to destroy all Bill 101, and come back to integral bilingualism in Montreal. And I say no. This is no, and oh no.
She lives in a dream world. Montreal is bilingual. It has always been bilingual. When it was more bilingual, Montreal was a city of prosperity. It was a city of dreams. It was a city with a future. It was a city where people weren't running away from. People were running to. Louise Baudouin, if she wants to pick a fight, a real honest fight, instead of this phony debate we've had for 25 years, now is the best time for her to do it. And I would caution her to be very careful.
The Saint-Jean-Baptiste Society noted the success of the English language sign campaign today. It called on the government to toughen its language laws immediately. Ray Fichot, CBC News, Montreal.
For years, women have been fighting for compensation because of problems with breast implants. Now, the first settlements in the world will help many women in Quebec and Ontario. Bristol Myers Squibb has finalized its settlement and will start paying compensation within 3 months. Geneviève Beauchemin reports it's a big victory for the women.